I'm Justin Betty. Tonight we continue to investigate safety concerns at local Dollar General stores across the region. After our original story aired, we received countless emails and phone calls from viewers with their own concerns at their local stores. We now know a store in Castleton is under investigation by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. KVLY News Team's Nishay Taylor joins us now live tonight in studio with details. Nishay.
Justin, since our first story aired about the conditions at the Dollar General store in Ada, complaints continue to roll in, with the store in Castleton topping the list. We've seen a lot of interest on social media pages since we first told you about the story. One of our videos reached nearly 10,000 people. Among the comments on those posts are a lot of safety concerns. One person said she cannot shop at the store because she can't navigate through the area with her wheelchair. Another shopper says it would be a big concern if the issues force this Dollar General to close in the future.
The aisles are pretty crowded. Sometimes you have to move a cart or something to get at what you want. I would be concerned, especially since Wengler Grocery closed. This is really the only game in town.
Now, OSHA has yet to complete its investigation, but a spokesperson says by law they have up to 6 months. Justin?
Thanks to Shane. Nationwide, Dollar General has already been fined more than $9 million for OSHA violations just since 2017.